Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. I'm here to talk to you about paleo. Whenever we learn about new things, the best way to learn about them is to actually hear about other people's experiences. I'm going to take you through my struggles, how I had the epiphany of learning what paleo was, what my results were, and what my journey continues to be. I did the plus.
Minus.
Oh.
It's contradictory.
Yes, it's made in China.
So, Eve is going to help me today. As you may have watched The Croods, she's one of the characters that gets enlightened in the movie. And if you haven't watched it, you're missing out. It's a very fun, family-oriented movie. Okay, so my struggle, besides this clicker. I played sports most of my life and was typically fit and active, and weight was never really an issue until the college years. I did play collegiate softball at Scottsdale Community College in Chandler, Gilbert, and afterward it was tough to stay active. I didn't realize, though, that my metabolism, as well as everybody else's metabolism in their 20s, starts actually declining. So if you're not keeping up with nutritious food and those foods that actually make a difference in your life, you're going to struggle a little bit more. I had 2 kids. I had gallbladder issues that was being misdiagnosed as a pinched nerve in my back for many years. I also was becoming overweight as a result, and I was diabetic. It became an issue when I was pregnant with my children and continued after my second daughter, or my second child. She's my daughter, I only have one. And I didn't realize I didn't have any knowledge of food. I've done the South Beach diet, I've done the drink cabbage juice, I've done all the weird stuff that you're supposed to do when you're on crazy diets. But none of them actually taught me about what it is I was eating and how those things were reacting with my body. So I became enlightened. I joined CrossFit in January 2012 as a New Year's resolution. And because one of my haters, I'm a really good friends actually, he didn't think I was going to continue with it. He thought that, I'll see you in a month at the bar with the rest of us. I said, okay. That actually gave me fuel. It gave me fuel to stick with it. What I didn't know was that CrossFitting, although important to stay active, was not the most important lesson I was to learn. They introduced me to paleo eating, which paleo is short for Paleolithic. It's about how our ancestors, everyone's ancestors, used to eat. I know what you might be saying is this is just another fad. But you have to realize that once you learn about what our ancestors were eating for tens of thousands of years, that's not a fad. It is a fad in our community, in our society now, because we don't do what our ancestors used to do, which is hunt and gather. I don't believe any one of us, or maybe some of you, but I've never lifted up a bow and arrow or made a fire out of stone and brush. But this is how our ancestors did when they were here. So I learned a lot about our history and how important anthropology actually is. In the book called The Paleo Solution, The Original Human Diet by Rob Wolf, he introduced me to what that anthropological history actually teaches us. We may watch the Flintstones and we think, oh, those guys used to die like when they were 30 or something. And that's not true. They used to actually live up to their 70s, just like we do now, except the environmental issues like a herd leaving and they can't keep up with them, or it got too cold and you freeze over. Those are the types of things that literally killed our caveman ancestors. What's the paleo diet? It's 5 essential things. Eating meat, so anything with a mom, sorry, or even bugs actually. vegetables, fruit, although it didn't eat as much fruit because it wasn't as readily available,
Seasonal.
nuts, and seeds. Okay? I also had to redefine what a diet was. We've bastardized the word because we think someone's on a diet, but we are all on a diet. Diet just really means, what are you eating every day? Okay. I'm not going to go through all of this, but essentially, it's important to take the inflammation away from your body, and that's what paleo does for you. Inflammation is a precursor to a lot of autoimmune issues and also issues with how our body reacts. So our metabolism, as I mentioned earlier. There's reason to avoid grains and legumes. Grains is essentially sugar and has phytic acids, as do legumes. And those are the things that causes us to gain weight, and it's really hard to get away from them. Foods that we are today are also not the same that we used to eat, even grains. Grains haven't been around in our diet as long as one may think, but when you read the Paleo Solution, you'll learn that farming is really the most, the big catalyst between how it used to be versus how it is now. And we don't cook enough. At the time I learned about paleo, I was 185 pounds. And as a result, after only 6 months, I went down to 145. And although I talk about weight, there's other things that resulted as living this lifestyle. My knees stopped hurting. I was no longer having self-esteem issues. The flake was kind of going away. I don't know if you guys have flake issues with like your scalp and your skin. I was having skin issues. That all went away as a result of having a paleo lifestyle. But my journey continues. This past year has been a very, very hard year for me. I won't go into all the details. But as a result, I've deviated from my very happy paleo lifestyle that I was able to keep for 3 years. But this changes. This speech hopefully will help me get back onto the path of what worked for me, what helped me, and I'm going to be rereading the Paleo Solution to remotivate me to get on the right track again. Thank you.
All right, we have 2 minutes for evaluation.